Imogen Cunningham holds a unique place in the history of 20th century American art. For 70 years, Imogen's camera explored, with innovation and a distinctive perspective, all the major traditions associated with photography as an art form. She embraced the art movements of pictorialism and surrealism, blending them with her own style, and was a founding member of Group F64, a progressive collective that championed sharp focus and fine details in photography. Imogen created artistic portraits and botanical photographs, documented her family with her camera, and pursued street photography, nude studies, still lives, and self-portraits. Throughout her 7-decade career, there was little that escaped her keen eye. This video delves into Cunningham's artistic journey, her distinctive style, and her contributions to the world of photography. Join us as we celebrate the legacy of one of the most influential photographers of the 20th century, whose work continues to inspire generations of artists and photographers. My Book Through the Lens, Inspiring Quotes from Master Photographers, is now available for purchase. This book is a captivating and inspiring collection of insights, reflections, and wisdom from some of the most renowned photographers in history. Get your copy now. The link to purchase it on Amazon is available below in the description box. Imogen Cunningham was born on April 12, 1883, in Portland, Oregon, to unconventional parents. Her father, Isaac Burns Cunningham, was a spiritualist, theosophist, free thinker, and vegetarian, while her mother, a Missouri Methodist, came west to marry him. Cunningham described herself as an ill-tempered child who felt out of place, saying, "I was always absolutely on my own, going somewhere being interested in something, and no one in my family was interested in the same things." She enrolled in school in Seattle and developed a strong interest in photography by high school. Her father supported her new passion by building a darkroom in a shed behind their Queen Anne home, and Cunningham received a photography correspondence course and a wooden 4x5 camera. Cunningham attended the University of Washington, where she was inspired by photographer Gertrude Casebeyer and decided to pursue a photography career. After graduating in 1907, she worked with photographer Edward S. Curtis. In 1909, she earned a scholarship to study in Germany, where she researched photography techniques and wrote a paper on developing platinum paper for brown tones. On her way back, she visited Alfred Stieglitz in New York, but chose to return to Seattle, where she opened her own portrait studio. There, she photographed cultural icons like Frida Kahlo, Martha Graham, Merce Cunningham, and Man Ray. In 1915, Cunningham married artist and teacher Roy Partridge. The couple had 3 sons and moved to San Francisco, where they both taught at Mills College. Cunningham focused on photographing flowers, industrial landscapes, and animals. In 1929, Edward Weston nominated her botanical photos for the film UND Photo Exhibition in Stuttgart. Soon after, Cunningham's focus shifted back to the human form, particularly heads. In the early 1930s, she joined Edward Weston, Ansel Adams, and others to form Group F64, which promoted sharp focus, unmanipulated photography. Despite the Great Depression, Cunningham's financial situation remained stable. In 1932, she began photographing movie stars for Vanity Fair. She also founded the California Horticultural Society in 1933 and continued working with Vanity Fair until it ceased publication in 1936. In the 1940s, Cunningham explored documentary street photography while supporting herself through commercial and studio work. In 1945, at Ansel Adams's request, she joined the California School of Fine Arts as one of the first faculty members in the new Fine Art Photography department, where she taught for several decades. During the 1950s and 1960s, Cunningham captured emerging social and cultural movements, including the Beats and counterculture. Although she avoided labeling herself as a feminist, she recognized gender disparities in the industry. She traveled to Europe, photographing Paris with a spontaneous and liberated approach. Even in her later years, Cunningham continued to work, earning accolades like a Guggenheim Fellowship. She created a book titled After 90, featuring portraits of nonagenarians. Despite her fascination with people as subjects, she expressed a cynical view of humanity, saying, "I don't love the world. I don't like a lot of people in it, just a few." A year before her death, Cunningham established the Imogen Cunningham Trust to oversee the preservation, promotion, and distribution of her work. That same year, she agreed to be interviewed for the Smithsonian Archive of American Art Oral History program. Her witty and insightful reflections on her life and career remain invaluable to journalists, art historians, and fans interested in her impressive body of work. When asked about being considered an important person in the history of photography, she laughed and replied, "Well, I don't know. It's very annoying. It might turn out that way in the end if I don't do anything too dreadful from now on." Imogen Cunningham passed away in San Francisco in 1976 at the age of 93. In the 1930s and 1940s, Cunningham captured some of the most admired figures in Hollywood and the art world, including a significant series of the dancer Martha Graham. This series showcases Graham in countless poses, but in this particular work, she's photographed only from the neck up. She extends her elbows and places her hands on her face, one hand on her right temple and the other with fingers spread over her left eye and cheekbone. Her eyes and lips are closed, while her dark hair falls onto her shoulders. Graham is set against a deep black background, and the stage lighting appears to come from the right, highlighting parts of her forehead, cheek, nose, chin, and forearms. Where the light does not reach, the background is a rich, soft, shadowy gray. Cunningham emphasizes his ongoing fascination with hands. Interestingly, the fingers often resemble the branches of plant leaves, symbolizing essential parts of a connected whole. Regarding her portraits, Cunningham mentioned that one should quickly and closely understand the beauty of character, intellect, and spirit to bring out their best traits. Even without Graham's body in the photo, it's evident that she is an incredibly skilled performer. Her pose, facial expression, and the lighting are intense yet artificial. Cunningham presents Graham as both the dancer and the icon. There's a feeling that even though she's posing, she might move at any moment and create a completely new image with her body. Cunningham's approach enhances this by avoiding the soft focus often used to create a dreamlike atmosphere. Instead, he focuses on straight photography, a style that's straightforward and free from unnecessary ideas or effects. The image is taken with a large format view camera using the smallest aperture to achieve high contrast and sharp details without any graininess. Cunningham wasn't only interested in photographing flowers. She was also drawn to succulent plants. She captured these plants using straight photography techniques with a sharp focus and very deliberate framing. Many of the succulents look like they could belong either to the deepest ocean floor or the highest mountaintop. They seem to be both natural and man-made, blending various aspects of life. Carl Blossfeldt, another botanist photographer, noted that plants should be appreciated as purely artistic and architectural forms. The Calesia cruciata 7, for example, is especially intriguing because it resembles a constructed tower or a flying machine as much as a typical plant. Unlike many of Cunningham's more delicate floral photos, these succulents have a more aggressive design. In particular, the plant features sharp spikes, and while other flowers in Cunningham's work might evoke a soft, protective image, this one suggests something more akin to a painful warning. Cunningham's work with succulents shows that her exploration of plant life was not just for visual beauty, but also as a way to delve into the complex contradictions of life. By the mid-1920s, Cunningham was mainly at home taking care of her 3 young children. Captivated by the flowers in her California garden, she found that photographing them up close was a way to keep working while being a mother. One of her most famous works from this time is Magnolia Blossom, which shows a close-up of the flower bathed in natural light. As critic Hilton Kramer observed, although Cunningham still liked to use light that softens and adds a poetic touch to her subjects, there is a more deliberate and concrete quality to her botanical images. The pistil and stamen, finely detailed and precise, are prominently displayed in the center of the gently curved petals, which appear delicate and fragile. The way the parts of the flower interact is captivating, and it's no surprise that horticulturists and scientists have used and continue to use her botanical photographs in their research. Cunningham frequently photographed the magnolia and the calla lily. It's also understandable that Cunningham's botanical work has led to comparisons with Georgia O'Keeffe, the renowned modernist painter known for her bold, sensual flowers. Magnolia Blossom certainly has a sensual, erotic quality due to its close-up, intimate framing and the contrast between the flower's hard and soft parts. However, it also has an element of artifice. The flower symbolizes many things and is intentionally removed from any natural or garden context. Though this work was created before the group F64 was founded, Kramer's comment on its concreteness hints at what's to come. In this piece, Cunningham purposefully frames the flower to evoke artifice and sensuality, but she also tones these aspects down compared to her earlier pictorialist works. In the twilight of her life, Imogen Cunningham, after more than 7 decades devoted to photography, left us an immortal legacy that continues to resonate with the same strength as when her images first came to light. Her work not only captures the essence of an era, it is an open window into humanity, both intimate and universal, simple and complex. Her camera was not just a tool. It was an extension of her being, a way of seeing the world and inviting others to do the same, with curiosity, with respect, and above all, with an insatiable thirst for truth. Cunningham was not content with the limitations of her time. She was a visionary in every sense, breaking molds and challenging conventions. Her photographic journey began under the influence of pictorialism, where images were more like paintings than photographs, filled with symbolism that imitated classical art. However, her restless spirit soon led her to abandon those standards. Instead of idealizing, she sought truth in clarity, in the sharpness that defines each of her photographs. This desire for authenticity drove her to become one of the founding figures of Group F64, alongside masters like Ansel Adams and Edward Weston, a collective that promoted unadorned realism, where beauty was found in the precision of detail rather than in artistic manipulation. Imogen had a unique ability to find the sublime in the everyday. Her lens captured the essence of a flower with the same reverence as it did the face of a Hollywood star. But perhaps the most striking aspect of her work is her capacity to reveal humanity in its purest and most vulnerable form. During her time as a reporter in the film industry, she knew how to look beyond the glamour and find the essence of the people behind the characters. Her portraits of actors and actresses did not depict them as untouchable gods, but as human beings with fears, doubts, and moments of fragility. This honesty is what makes her photographs remain so powerful and relevant today. Cunningham was also a pioneer in her treatment of the human body. At a time when nudity was a taboo subject, she approached it with a naturalness and delicacy that broke barriers. She was the first woman to sign portraits of nude men, challenging the norms of her time and paving the way for many other female photographers to follow. It wasn't about eroticism, but a profound respect for the human form, seen through a lens that sought beauty in the natural, the imperfect, and the real. Throughout her career, Cunningham never stopped experimenting, always searching for new ways to see and understand the world. Her photographs of plants and flowers are a testament to her ability to find beauty in the simplest forms, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. These images not only document plant life, they capture something deeper, a connection between nature and humanity that resonates in the most intimate parts of our consciousness. Imogen Cunningham's legacy is, above all, a lesson in authenticity and perseverance. She never allowed success or fame to divert her from her purpose. For her, photography was a way of life, a means of connecting with the world and with others. She did not seek technical perfection or recognition. She sought truth, and in that search, she found beauty in its purest form. In the end, Imogen Cunningham's life is a reminder that true art is not about seeking to please or impress, but about the need to express what cannot be said in words. Her work invites us to look beyond the superficial, to find poetry in the everyday, and to remember that, as she herself said, ideas are endless. Only death could stop her tireless exploration of the world through her camera, but her legacy continues to live on, inspiring us all to look more closely, to feel more deeply, and to live more authentically. Imogen Cunningham taught us that true greatness lies in simplicity, in honesty, in the ability to see the world as it is, without artifice, and to find in it a beauty that transcends time and trends. Her work is a constant reminder that photography, like life itself, is a journey of discovery and connection with the world around us, and that perhaps is her most enduring legacy.
Thank you.